In this video, I will continue the Rama Gita from the verse 14th. Sri Ramachandra Parabrahmane Namaha. Kechid vadanti dividarkhavadinah tadapya sadrishta virodha karanad dehabhimanadha vivartade kriya vidya gadaham kridita prasidhyati. Here the reply for the Purva Paksha, it is given here. In the last 6 verses, that is in the last video, Purva Paksha said that the karmas are prescribed in the Vedas. So a person eager to know about Brahman or eager to attain liberation or Brahma Vidya, he must do karma. Only with karma, combining karma, combination of karma and Vidya only will give liberation because it is prescribed in the Vedas. For that, the Vedanti said, karma, you can do karma to purify the mind. It is absolutely needed. Sri Rama also said that karma according to the varna and ashrama purifies the mind. But karma cannot give liberation. Jnana is swatantra. It is independent. It does not need any support. So, knowledge, that is Jnana, Brahma Vidya alone will give liberation. And that same argument is continued in this verse, that is the verse 14th or the Shloka 14th. Kechit vadantidi. Some people say that is the Vidarkavada. Vidarkavada means some people argue for the sake of argument. If they don't argue, they feel that they are so weak. They are weak in the subject or weak in their talent, so they just argue. So this argument is just like that. The argument of the Purva Paksha is just like that. It is only a Vidarkavada. Why it is a Vidarkavada means Tadapya Sadrishta Virodha Karanat. Because Jnana and Karma, they both are contrary. They don't go together. Why they don't go together? They are opposite each other. This verse says. Why they are contrary? Dehabhimanadhabivartade kriya. If you do action, it will only increase our identification with the body. Because we have to do any action with our mind and body. So when we do any action, it will increase our dehabhimana, identification with the body. Vidya gadahankritita prasidhyati. Vidya does not need ahankara, because when we have this body attachment, automatically ego will come. Without ego, you cannot have body and mind attachment. So when you do any action, we are attached to the body, and that will increase our ego. Without ego, we cannot do any action. But Vidya does not need that attachment. Any action, it cannot be performed without ego and body attachment. But Jnana, it does not need this body attachment and it does not need the ego. So that's why it is so contrary. That's what is explained in this verse, that is the 14th verse. The next verse, the 15th verse, goes like this. Vishuddha vijnana vironchananchita vidyatma vrittiksharamedi bhanyate udedi karma kila karakadibihi nihanti vidya kila karakadikam. Vishuddha vidya, only by pure knowledge we get this Brahmakara vritti. Brahmakara vritti means that is, it is so strongly established in the mind, that is, I am Brahman. That is the Brahmakara vritti. It is by pure knowledge only we get that vritti. By action and all we will not get. By pure knowledge, by the understanding of the Vedas, understanding of the Upanishad Vakyas, we get that knowledge. When that knowledge comes, by action, what will happen when we do some ritual rites? It will give that action in the mind. Udedi karma kila karakadibihi. By vidya, we get this brahmakara vitti. When that is strongly established in the mind, action and the rituals gives rise to action. Any rituals, when we do, it gives rise to action. And by the arising of the brahmakara vritti, it will destroy that action, all the actions and all the rituals. Because pure knowledge does not need any help. That's what the argument is given in this verse also. When we contemplate on the Supreme Self and we get that brahmakara vritti, that is, brahmakara vritti is known as the divine knowledge, that is the Atma Vidya. Then the action is born when we do the rituals, but knowledge destroys action. This argument is said in the 15th verse, and the 16th verse also continues with this argument. Because what the Purva Paksha said is, it's a point that has to be argued, otherwise people will go the wrong way. That's why so many verses are given, the answer is given in so many verses. The next 16th verse also says, तस्मात् त्यजेत् कार्यमशेषदस्सुधीः विद्याविरोच्चानसमुच्चयो भवेत् आत्मानुसन्धानपरायणः सदा निवृत्तसर्वेन्द्रियवृत्तिगोचरः. Sudhi, that is the people with good intellect or the wise people. Tasmat, therefore, tyajet, just renounce the action. The wise people, they renounce the action and they will completely devote their time in vidya, that is for attaining jnana. Because because the vidya, that is the jnana, knowledge, and action will never go together. They can be parallel, they can go parallel, because action purifies the mind, but vidya is independent. Action and knowledge, they will not go together. And Atmanu Sandhana Parayana Sada, the wise people, they should renounce the action and always contemplate on the Supreme Self. The Supreme Brahman, they should always contemplate on it. Nivritti Sarvendriya Vritti Gochara. We must, and the people, wise people, they have to keep a distance from the sense object also. Only then this brahmakara vritti will be well established in the mind. But this takes a lot of time and lot of maturity for an ordinary person to come to this level. But this is the final stage. Gradually, when we read this, our mind will be molded into it. There is no hurry for it, Brahma Vidya. Because if we go in hurry to attain Brahma Vidya in a harsh way, our mind will not be matured. And in the half of the way, we will feel bored and we will be on two ways. So this should come gradually. The mind should gradually mature. What I felt and what I have realized is, if we hurry towards it, if we force that vidya, if we force for that knowledge, then our mind will be ruptured because it is not mature. So this maturity has to come gradually, but with proper and perfect, firmly established in the mind. So that's what this verse says. So where they are wise people, they have to they have to distance from the object of the senses and spend time in Brahma Vidya and renounce the action. The next verse very clearly says, Yavat charirādishu māyayātmadīhi tāvad vidheyo vidivāda karmanām netīti vākyairakilam nishidyatah Jnatva paratmanamadatyajet kriyaha. When should one renounce the karma? When should it? Yavat sharirādishu māyayātmadihi. When a person realizes, now we are attached to our body and mind, so easily we cannot detach from it. We may understand it very theoretically, but that practical realization will come only gradually. So when should a person renounce the action and spend time in Brahma Vidya entirely? Can we renounce the action even now itself? No. Then we will be in the halfway. We will not go this way also and we will not go that way also. So understand this Vidya perfectly first. Till then, till this knowledge is well established in the mind, we will have this body attachment. We will be involved in the Maya only. We will be involved in the Maya. Till then, we should not renounce the action. We have to do action. We are 24/7. But what action we should do? Good action as prescribed in the Vedas. As prescribed in the Vedas, have a normal life and do action. By the Vakyas, neti Vakya Kilam Nishiddha. By the words of the Vedas, that is in the Upanishads, they will say, neti, not this, not this. This is not Brahman, this is not Atma. Till that knowledge is well established in the mind. Not the theoretical knowledge, it should be well established in the mind. Till then you have to do action, but as prescribed in the Vedas, most probably. But people go out for work, they do a lot of work, all that are not bad actions. They are also doing dharma to support their family and to have their own identity and to have their own earning. That's nothing wrong in it. But by the meantime, go for this knowledge also, because that is the permanent knowledge. Knowing that, should not renounce the action till we have the deha abhimana. Till we are attached with the body and mind, we should not leave renounce actions. Once when this teaching of the Vedas that all these are transitory things, all these are temporary, when till that the entire universe is temporary, till that thought is well established in the mind, then one will come to know of the self. He will automatically come to know of the self. Then he has to renounce all the actions and complete time he has to devote for the jnana, to establish in the self itself. Or otherwise, if we live in the halfway, lot of problems will come for us and for the society also. In today's time, we see a lot of sannyasis. They come to that life, but their mind is not mature. So they involve in so much toward adverse situations, which is not accepted by the society. So for them it is right, but it is not accepted by the society. So, or because their mind is not matured. So we have to wait till our mind matures to grasp this knowledge, and that is not easy. Because we have accumulated lot of prarabdha karma. We have taken many births, and we have accumulated a lot of karmas, karmic impressions. We have to exhaust it one by one. But in the meantime, we have to attain this knowledge also. So when the knowledge ripes, automatically, it should be an automatic transition. So till then, we have to do action. So that's very clearly said in Rama Gita, when to renounce action. Or otherwise, as I said, it's not good for us and not good for the society too. The next verse, that is the 18th verse, says, Yada paratmatma vibheda bhedakam vijnanamatmanyavabhadi bhaswaram tadaiva maya praviliyate jasa sakaraka karanamatma samsrute. When that difference between that individual self and the universal self, when that is removed, now we feel that we are an individual. We cannot accept that I am that infinite Brahman. We know it, but we cannot realize it. We know that, but that realization should come gradually. For some sages, by hearing a word or a word when they read the Vedas, immediately it will come. But for ordinary people, it won't come because we have accumulated many impressions. So, till that difference between the individual self and the universal consciousness, that individuality is gone, is removed by Vidya, that Bhaswara that shines in the mind. Bhaskara means sun. That is given, the name is given to the sun because it shines. Till that knowledge shines in the mind, Tadaiva Maya Praviliyadejasa. All this confusion, when that knowledge arises or shines in the mind, all that confusion, this effects of the Maya, that will be removed. So when that difference between the individual and that individual consciousness, that is the individual self, and the universal consciousness, that is Brahman, that difference is removed by Vidya. When it is removed by Vidya, till now we have the difference, no? But when that difference is removed by Vidya, immediately the Maya with all its effects, which means the rebirth, Maya and the samsara, these are the effects of Maya, that will be removed from our mind. So till then, till that knowledge, we have to do action. When that knowledge arises in our mind, then it will destroy the Maya and its effects. That will disappear, not remove, it will disappear. So the transmigration cycle ends with that. The next verse, that is the 19th verse, goes like this. Shruti pramana vivinashita sa katham bhavishyatya vikaryakarini vijnana matradamilad vidhiyatah tasmad vidhyana punar bhavishyati. So once that knowledge arises in the mind, avidya will never come back. We are new to this concept because whatever we prepare for the examination, whatever we study, after some time, if we are not in touch with it, it will go off. But here, when that knowledge arises, we will continue to dwell in that knowledge. It is this knowledge means it has to be the shift in the consciousness. It is the shift in the consciousness. Now, at present, we are conscious about our body and mind and the outside world, worldly life. We have this worldly life. But once when this vidya is well established in mind by the Shruti Pramana, by the Vakyas of the Shruti, Shruti means the Vedas, Pramana means to that means. When this knowledge is well established in the mind, then avidya will never, bhavishyati, it will never come. Na bhavishyati, it will never come back. Once we understand, we must understand it, not just knowing about it. When we realize this, now we know about it, but we have to realize it. There's a difference between it. Knowing and realizing are different. Now we know about it. Only when we know, we can realize it. That's a gradual shift. Then all that Maya, it is erased by that knowledge, that will never come back. All this effect of the Maya will also be destroyed. There will be no transmigratory cycle, no rebirth, and it will never happen. Avidya, ignorance, will never come back. He is asking the question, Katham bhavishyati karyakarini. How will that Maya produce an effect? Once it is removed by knowledge, by the Shruti Pramana, then how can it produce its effect? It will never come back. Now the 20th verse says, Yati sma nashtana punah prasuyate kartahamasyeति mati katham bhavet tasmat swatantrana kaikimapyabekshate vidya vimokshaya vibhadi kevala. Here also says, once this knowledge, avidya, is destroyed, it will never come back. Then, how will we have that feeling that kartaham, I am the doer? That will also, how will it appear? This I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, the karta and bhokta feeling are coming to us only because of avidya, ignorance, that is the maya. So once that avidya and maya are removed from the mind, when it disappears, then how will we have the feeling I am the doer? Jnana is swatantra. We cannot do action without egoism. So that ego, ahankara, I am the doer, is removed. Then after that, only that I am the doer, ego is removed by knowledge. So anymore, karma cannot help knowledge. Apekshate, it needs no help. How can it help? So knowledge is independent. That's the argument. By knowledge, I am the doer feeling is removed. So I cannot do any action. Avidya is removed. It will not come again. So that action that I am the doer, that is removed. Then how can any karma help knowledge? So knowledge is independent. Knowledge alone, vidya vimokshaya vibhadi kevala. One and only vidya, independently, it can give liberation, vimoksha. It can give liberation. Vidya alone can give liberation, can give freedom for the mind. It does not need any support of the rituals. So that's the argument here, and it is the 20th verse in Rama Gita. And I think I can take a break and continue with the rest of the slokas of Rama Gita in my next video. Shri Ramachandra Parabrahmane Namaha.